Welcome to Story Ray. I'm Marlon, and today I want to talk about a question that a lot of screenwriters get. The question is, what is your personal connection to the material? I hate that question. Let's talk about it. So let me ask you, do writers, especially screenwriters, do you really need to have some deep, identifiable, and quantifiable personal connection to every story that you write? Or is that just some old Hollywood BS that magically appeared right around the time when women and minorities started getting writing jobs? When I first started working in Hollywood back in the mid-90s, the screenwriting world was very, very different place. The vast majority of working writers were white males. And you know what the hiring criteria were? Basically two things: talent and professionalism. And that's all it took for them to get hired. And that's it. So nobody asked them, what is your personal connection to the story? Questions that sort of popped up as the diversity increased in the writing world. Yet nobody asked them to jump through those crazy, ridiculous hoops, just trying to get to prove they were worthy enough to get a job. All they had to do was be a good writer. No one expected a white male writer to justify writing in the voice of, say, a gangster, or writing in the voice of a woman, or a black family, or say some aliens from outer space. All they had to do was be a good writer, and they had the job, right? Talent, universality, and the ability to extrapolate the human experience was all part of the job, and it's assumed that's, if you can do that, you're a writer, and if you can't do that, then you're not. But over the years, something changed. Fast forward to today. Before DEI became a derogatory term, there were diversity initiatives and fellowships that helped open the door to women and minority writers. Rather than embrace writers from previously excluded backgrounds, instead, the level of scrutiny and suspicion grew amongst reps and executives. I can recall my frustration with my own manager. He used to question me in the ways that he would ask me things that he wouldn't ask a white male writer. He would kind of imply that when I did something right and the script was working, he would imply that I must just be lucky, because there's no way I could know what I'm doing as a writer. And so obviously he and I were not a good fit in terms of manager and writer, and we parted ways rather quickly. But he was not alone. That whole mindset existed, and it persisted, and it turned into what we have today, in this question that we get: why you? What is your personal connection to the material? As if you have to, if you're going to write about police officers, you have to have been a police officer. If you're going to write about aliens, you have to be from another planet. Bull crap like that. What my manager was really hinting at, what he really wanted to know, is the same thing that's become normalized in the current climate. He wanted to know how a black guy could write something that wasn't particularly for black people, it wasn't a black project, and how could it actually be good? Today, that same mindset shows up as the question, what is your personal connection to the story? As if you can't use your imagination, right? Anything that you wrote is going to be personal, correct? In my opinion, the only answer any writer should give to that question is, I'm personally connected to the story because I'm an artist and I'm the one who fucking wrote it. If it's something that comes out of you, then like a woman birthing a child, you have a personal connection to it. I mean, that's the whole business of art. That particular question, it says more about the person asking it than any false insights one might glean from an answer. What it says is the person who asks the question has no idea how art and creativity really works. Imagine asking a painter or a sculptor what is their personal connection to their artwork. It's ridiculous, right? It's a stupid question, because if it's art, you're not supposed to explain it. That's the whole point. And that terrible question has become so commonplace. Even artistic communities such as the Sundance, the festival, and the Sundance Institute, they're supposed to be a community that's supportive of artists. But even they ask that same horrible question and a bunch of other probing, invasive questions that it's really nobody's business. And it is too bad, because they're supposed to be open to artists and supportive of artists, but they're closed off except to people they feel have sufficiently psychoanalyzed their creative expressions to actually deserve to be supported by the programs. I mean, at that point, they're really crossing a line into none of your business. So those people who are placed in charge of artists, but don't understand their creative process, think they are fully justified in asking artists to explain their personal expression or personal connections. But what they don't realize is how deeply rooted in racism that line of questioning, and sexism, how deeply rooted in racism and sexism that line of questioning really is, and where it comes from. Because when white males were largely the only population getting opportunities as writers and screenwriters and directors, those questions about what is your personal connection didn't exist. And white males wrote for everybody. They didn't have to have experienced life as a black person or a Latino or whoever. They just wrote it, and they were the ones, because they said, well, these are the good writers, so they get the job. No personal connection. But historically, as we saw more women and minorities getting opportunities, there was a pushback, right? And the shift came with that new line of questioning. All of a sudden, you couldn't just be a good writer. It had to be, well, why should we hire you for reasons other than your writing? And that's an ongoing problem that needs to be addressed. Because what they were really saying is that by asking that question, they're really saying, why should we hire you as a writer instead of hire a white male writer like we normally would do? Obviously, it can't be because you're a good writer or you're a professional writer or you have professionalism about your writing. That can't be the answer. So tell us, what is your personal connection? What are all these other reasons besides the writing that we're going to hire this woman or this minority instead of a white male? And I mean, this line of questioning, it's prevalent today, but we got to remember, it wasn't born out of curiosity, artistic curiosity. That's not where it comes from. It was born out of covert, possibly even unconscious at times, racism, sexism, and whatever other isms you want to throw in there. The gatekeeping continues, disguised as a line of polite questions designed to seem important and crucial to decision makers, but it's not important or crucial. What's important is whether or not the writing or the artwork is good. That's what's important. So let's quickly reiterate the subtext that we're talking about for those that haven't been following along. If we were hiring based on talent, we'd simply hire all white guys. But since we're doing the DEI thing, why don't you tell us, Mr. Female or minority writers, why we should hire you instead of a talented white male? So women writers, Black, Latino, Asian, queer writers, every time you justify that terrible question with an answer, you are undermining your own talent and keeping a racist, sexist system alive as well. Remember, what is the answer to your personal connection to the things you write? I fucking wrote it. That's the only real answer, right? It came out of me. That's why it's personally connected to me. They don't need to know your deepest, darkest secrets. I mean, you're looking for work, not therapy. They want you to be like you're in therapy or something. No, they don't get to do that. I mean, it's just a job. And today, it affects everybody, not just minorities and women, white men too. White men also. Now you're affected. In the old days, all you had to do was be a good writer. Now, even you guys, you're jumping through these silly hoops as well, talking about your personal, making up ridiculous personal connections when it's really nobody's business. I mean, it created this underlying idea that DEI writers are hired for everything except talent, while white male writers are hired because of their talent. Those of you who have been diversity hires in recent television rooms can attest to it if you were going to be honest. And so that is the quiet bias underneath the personal connection question. So, before you rattle off an answer to it, really understand what they're really asking you. The question itself is not just rude and annoying. It's actually harmful to the creative process. Here's the thing about creativity. It's personal by nature, right? A story that works because the writer has a personal connection to it on some level. Otherwise, the writing doesn't work, or the storytelling doesn't work, or the directing. It just doesn't work. So there has to be the personal connection in order for it to work. So if you want to know if someone has a personal connection to something, is it working? If it works, then yes. What is that connection? It's none of your business, right? So if you read a script and it's working, guess what? The writer has a personal connection to the material. What exactly that personal connection is none of your damn business. That's why it's called personal. Requiring people to divulge their deepest inner workings for a job opportunity is beyond invasive. And when we come right down to it, it's insensitive and sometimes even painful for people. Some creatives are literally transmuting trauma through their work. Imagine if someone tried to force Richard Pryor to sit down in a producer's office and explain what his personal connection is to some of his work. I mean, were they gonna, that he grew up in and around a brothel, or his mother was a prostitute? I mean, some things aren't for everybody to know or to necessarily understand, unless they want to share it, which is, up to the artists themselves. So if you take nothing else from this video, if you see some art and it's working, you already know the artist has a personal connection to the art. Either that or they're really, really good at faking it. Writers, and especially screenwriters, you don't owe anyone your personal biography, not even your employer. What you do owe them is your work, your hard work, your passion, and your imagination, and your craft. That's all you owe them. Not your self-analysis or your personal trauma. They They don't have a right to that. There's not an amount of money they can pay you that gives them a right to that. Next time someone asks, what's your personal connection to the material that you're working on as a writer or creative? Before you answer, maybe remind them that this question is deeply rooted in the historically sexist and racist Hollywood power structure. Or say something like, I have the same connection to the material that white males have had for over 100 years. I'm a good writer. And by the way, I'm the one who fucking wrote it. If that's not enough, then maybe they're the ones who need to explain their connection to understanding the artistic or creative process. Thanks for listening. That's my Ray for today. How do you feel about it? Drop a comment, especially if you think explaining one's personal connection to any art is a good thing, or explaining art in general. Is that a good thing, in your opinion?